What's up everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're playing some more of my career. I do really enjoy this. Hey Realm and Chief Brandon Coleman.
What do you think your highest attribute rating should be in the game?
I think definitely my three-point shooting.
I'm a good passer, so passing the ball is what I do probably the best.
And a lot of style and a lot of confidence coming off the Kings bus earlier on. We'll see if their performance matches their look. Our broadcast tonight coming to you from New York City, amid all the hustle and bustle of the streets of Manhattan. 2K Sports presents Thursday night of the NBA. In this game, we'll see the Sacramento Kings against the New York Knicks here in New York. I'm Kevin Harlan, joined by the talented analyst tandem of Greg Anthony and Chris Webber. David Aldridge is on our sideline. Hey, Dave.
Kevin, thanks very much. In this era of player empowerment.
Much needed indeed, David. Thank you. Yeah, tonight, Greg, two teams with a lot of talent, but also a lot of inexperience on each side.
And Kevin, you know what that means? It means we're going to see some spectacular plays, but a few that'll have you scratching your head as well. Always interesting to watch.
Yeah, they're winning.
Out on the floor right now for the Knicks. .59 seconds left to play in the first quarter. Now here's Cobb. He's guarded by Davis. Pass to Junior. And the call on the shot that sends him to the line. New York shooting their first shots from the stripe in this game.
And looking at last season's numbers, down below 70% as a team from the line.
And he can't get the first one. And he's good on the second. For the New York Knicks, they come in off the loss to Boston.
Hey, they had their opportunities, but let's face it, they choked from the line.
Hey,
hard
Ryan.
to win that way on the road.
And maybe the crowd had an effect on them. I mean, who knows? I mean, they looked uncomfortable at the line.
Down low, trying to find Jones. He gets it to him. Knicks trail by 6. Just 1 second between the shot clock and game clock. Cobb with it. We've got 13 seconds left here in the opening quarter. 5 to shoot. New York, no good that time either. From outside the arc, and it is good at the buzzer. Wow!
Ringing the bell. That's the way to close a quarter.
You see this so often.
And so it's the Sacramento Kings in control with a 9-point lead to end the quarter. And their three-point shooting has paved the way for them. We've got more in store for you right after this. And so far through one quarter, it's been a lopsided game. We'll see if that changes here in the second. And let's quickly break down the game we've been watching for the Kings, guys.
Well, you can see these guys are unafraid to take chances defensively.
Yeah, it's a gambling style that pays off, keeping things in disarray for that offense.
On the court right now for the Kings, Jones is out there with Holmes. Then there's Terrence Davis. Then there's Mo Harkless. And it's James in at the point guard. Knicks trail by 11. Guys are looking for a spark here.
Yeah, a cold stretch offensively for sure.
Too tentative on the finish. Forget about the D. Take it up strong.
Now, Junior feeds it to Noel. New York moving the ball around. And there's the whistle. 3-second violation.
Costly error there. We'll see how they rebound from that miscue.
Man, when you're playing from behind, that's the last thing you want to do. Make matters worse.
Julius Randle's checked in for New York. DeLon Wright, he's checked in for Sacramento. In the corner, it's James. And the three off target.
Even for a player who's not a three-point specialist, I mean, that's a shot you got to knock down.
Junior with it. Davis is there. And it's Junior missing. And it's Wright with the ball for the Sacramento Kings. They haven't allowed any points in the second quarter. Davis with the bucket.
Oh, the timing couldn't have been better on that assist.
Knicks trail by 13. Randle right side. Over Harkless. And again, it's the Knicks missing.
Oh, he did everything right there except hit the shot.
And James with the basket on the assist by Wright. James has got his first 2 points of the night.
And they've had assists now in their last 3 baskets.
Now, here's Junior. Defense is right there. Noel doesn't go that time. Good D by Jones. For the Kings, they come in off the loss to the Jazz.
Yeah, I mean, in that one, you really saw a difference in aggression between the two teams, particularly on the board.
Well, the rebounding numbers weren't even close. I mean, if that was a boxing match on the glass, they would have stopped that fight a long time ago.
New York calls timeout. Greg, at the beginning of every season, we'd love to see players that have worked on something during the offseason that they now have added to their game in the new season.
No doubt about it, Kevin. You know, the work does...
So it's the Sacramento Kings sitting with a comfortable lead up by 14. Their defense has been terrific in this game. We come back right after this. And after a very lopsided first half, we'll see if things play out a little more evenly here in the second. Kind of like what Rose has done in this one so far.
Man, he's been running wild on him through that first half. Absolute... So it's the Kings winning this one easily.
To come into an opponent's building and dominate the way they did tonight says, I think, Greg, an awful lot about this team.
I guess they don't need home cooking to feel at home. I mean, Kevin, just a masterful performance all the way around.
And that about wraps it up. For Greg Anthony, Chris Webber, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan. Thanks for watching the NBA, presented by 2K Sports. We'll see you next time.
Do you have any feedback? Do you want to give our gameplay director, Mike Wang?
With the graphics, you know, obviously they're where they need to be.
Not really,
and
right?
the motions and movements getting better too. So I mean, just keep working on your craft, but you know, you're doing a good job.
Do you want to say anything to Mike Wang? Because we're actually going to have him on the show.
The giant fist of Joe Louis announcing Detroit as the setting of our broadcast today. Greetings and best wishes for a happy holiday season from all of us at 2K Sports as we get set for this NBA presentation. And tonight, it'll be the New York Knicks going up against the Detroit Pistons here at Little Caesars Arena. Alongside Greg Anthony and Steve Smith with David Aldridge on the sideline, this is Kevin Harlan. DA, take it away.
Well, Kevin, and
Thanks, David. And now the New York Knicks starters. It's Randall and Robinson at the 4 and the 5. And it's Rose. Then there's Alec Burks. And for the Pistons, you've got Diallo. Jackson is out there with Smith. Then there's Jeremy Grant. And it's Stewart in at the center. All teams tonight, Greg, love to push the ball up the floor, even off made shots.
You know, trying to find an opening.
Ends up going with the new group. Pistons have shot 60% from the line, 6 of 10.
Hey, KFI. Yeah, KFI just
And that
go to one of my
lead by 1.
just go to one of my videos and I'll sub back after the stream.
Too many careless fouls, and they're giving up a lot of trips to the line.
Junior with
Thanks for the
it.
sub.
Against Smith, and it's Junior missing.
And already they've staked out a noticeable advantage in terms of aggression and controlling the backcourt.
It's easy to tell that he is most comfortable pulling up from that area on the floor.
Knicks trail by 3. There's 48 seconds left in the first quarter. They get it back. Here's Cobb. He's now 1 for 2 with that bucket. Greg, you can see the talent that Hendricks Cobb possesses. He looks like a player who is bound for stardom.
Cobb has that it factor about him when he plays. Everything comes so easy for him. With his talent and drive, he'll be one of the big names in the NBA soon enough. And he wanted everybody in the building to feel that ferocity.
And we did.
Yeah.
And we felt it. Even over here, we felt it. 3-second difference between shot clock and game clock.
I mean, he's staying aggressive, trying to regain his touch, but right now, he's hurting the team.
Cobb dishes to Junior. And And that'll be 2 free throws coming up. Officials on the call with the foul. It's going to be on Mason Plumlee.
Yeah, easy call.
The Knicks have shot less than 50% at the free throw line today, hitting just 3 of 7. He's off on the first. No luck that time either. Here's Ellington. No good with the wing jumper. A nice first quarter of play. We've seen plenty of offense so far. Pistons lead by 3. And we'll be back right after this. And close game underway so far. We'll see if either of these teams can jump out in the second quarter. And what stands out to you from the Pistons so far in this one?
Attacking, drawing fouls. They won that first quarter at the line.
Some people might feel they got some hometown calls, but when your team is pushing the action, you often get the benefit of the doubt.
Corey Joseph is out there with Jackson. Then there's Wayne Ellington. Then there's Jahlil Okafor. And it's Stewart in at the power forward. They're the group Detroit will start the second with. Tries it from 19. Misses off the left iron.
And I'm sure next time he sits down, coach is going to have a few choice words for him with that shot selection.
And you know what? He knows it. You have to try to play within the system or you're going to come away with empty possessions.
And that one's good, Junior.
Crazy to think just how recently Junior took up basketball. We know he's a raw talent and was a football player back in high school. That's one reason why the upside is so high on him.
You know, Greg, you think of guys like Duncan and Embiid, the Dream. They all started playing basketball late as well, and Junior could follow their path. New York calls timeout. Outplayed in the previous game on their schedule, losing to Sacramento.
Yeah, a snowball effect in that one. One thing would go wrong, and then another.
So it's Detroit with a 14-point lead as we bring the quarter to a close.
Thanks. Dwayne, you're ahead. How do you keep this up for the rest of the game?
Well,
all right, David, thank you. We'll be back after halftime for the start of the third quarter. Well, we've got a second half of basketball for you. We think it's going to be pretty good. A big comeback, though, is needed for this game to be competitive, and it probably... Here's checked in for the Knicks. Elfrid Payton comes in for Derrick Rose. Pistons leading by 10. And New York looking at who they've got. It's Randall and Robinson at the 4 and the 5. Payton is out there with Junior, and it's Burks in at the small forward position.
Love that they're continuing to attack despite being up big.
I'm impressed with their intensity tonight. They came in focused and they've executed.
Never a bad idea to run the old pick play.
You're right. And if it produces a slam like that, we'll probably see more of them.
Especially if the defense is going to allow you to do it. Have to switch on that play.
Greg, if you're a small market team, how do you convince stars that you've drafted and developed to stay and re-sign?
It's a great question, Kevin. I actually think in a lot of ways it's easier today because you can be box office. You can be a superstar in a small market and have the name recognition because of the era we play in. And so I think the biggest way to keep him there is to build a championship caliber team around him. I think that is your saving grace. If you can prove to them that you can build a championship caliber team, I don't really think that there is a reason to want to leave.
It's a solid blueprint. And the first one drops.
And it's the combination of athleticism, speed, and intelligence Smith Jr. has that's so impressive. Just a dynamic point guard with loads of potential.
Here's what Detroit's going with right now. Okafor is checked in for Jeremy Grant. Ellington comes in for Diallo. And Corey Joseph subbed in for Jackson. And so Payton will bring it up for New York. A 12-point game. He has a chance now to catch up with the fourth member of our crew, Hall of Famer David Aldridge.
Kevin, thank you. For the Pistons, rebuild has been a dirty word. With all their injuries last season, staying in the playoff picture was out of the cards. This summer, their highest draft pick in a decade, Motor City is hoping it will be back in the fast lane soon. Guys?
Building up that talent base. Thank you, David.
Yeah, how about that one? Able to maintain control and finish the play.
For New York, they have had an off night from the stripe tonight.
And looking at last season's numbers, down below.
There's 14 seconds left in the fourth quarter. The pass to Jackson. Cloak loose. Here's Junior. No good. And so it's Detroit with the W. Some good moments throughout this one, but they have the clear advantage down the stretch.
Yeah, I mean, I love the way they executed on both ends of the floor, completely under control for the vast majority of the game. And whenever there was a misstep, they just didn't allow it to fester, and that's why they're going to walk away with the win.
And that'll wrap it up, folks. Now for Greg Anthony, Steve Smith, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan. Thanks for watching the NBA here on 2K Sports. We'll see you later.
You've seen the trailers, you've heard the buzz. Well, today we're getting more NBA 2K22 details straight from the source. Here's gameplay director Mike Wang.
And those are the starting lineups. Lots of interesting matchups tonight. Stick around. We'll be right back with more. Welcome and happy holidays from 2K Sports. It's time for NBA action. This is Kevin Harlan with Greg Anthony and Brent Barry. From the sideline, we'll have David Aldridge. We'll be hearing from him in just a moment. DA, it's all yours.
Kevin, thanks. Well, among the league's deadlier weapons now is the step-back jumper. Steph Curry said, "You're always in control of the situation with that move. It is pretty effective." Portland's Damian Lillard said, "It's a tough off-balance shot, so it takes a lot of work." But people around the league are putting in that work to become even more effective. Guys?
Thanks, David. So a look at our starters for the Knicks. It's Randall and Robinson at the 4 and the 5. Then there's Elfrid Payton. Then there's Alec Burks. And for the Mavericks, Kleba is the 4 with Porzingis in the middle. Josh Richardson out there with Jalen Brunson. And it's Doncic in at the 3. Reagan, 1991, you were drafted 12th overall. Talk about early expectations as a first-round pick. Your son going through it right now.
Yeah, no doubt. Listen, everyone wants to see what you've got.
Me learning. Oh, yay.
For the Knicks. We've got 13 seconds left in the first. Here's Junior. Off target there. That would have pushed the lead to double digits. Hardaway with a wide open look. And the last shot of the buzzer doesn't go in for him. And so it's New York in the driver's seat, up 8 points at the end of the quarter. They're pounding the ball inside, and that's where they've gotten their best production tonight. Back to the action after. And if you're just joining us, we've played through one quarter in this one. And guys, what's your take on the Knicks so far?
Well, going to the bench early, they obviously knew what they were doing.
Yeah, looking for a spark here, and the coach tapped the right guys to get out there and provide it.
Here are the 5 New York has to start here in the second. They've got Toppin. Junior's out there with Kyle. And it's Taj Gibson. And it's Bullock in at the 3 spot. And keeping us updated from the sideline, let's swing it over to David Aldridge.
Hey, Kevin, the Mavericks have their young star tandem in Luka Doncic and Kristaps Porzingis. KP said, we can be a pretty deadly duo. It's only going to be a matter of time. Once we get that 2-man game going, it's going to be hard to stop. Guys, it's already hard to stop. Back to you.
Team on the rise, David. Thank you so much. Now, here's Bullock. Just 5 to shoot. Good on the 3-point shot. Bullock's got his second bucket tonight.
And it seems as if someone got their signals crossed. If he can wind up that open from 3-point range, I'm sure that was not a part of the game plan. And didn't do anything fancy there, but didn't need to.
Nope, his only concern right now is getting the points on the board. And I don't mean style points. And it's Junior missing. Mavericks trailed by 7. Hardaway dishes to Cauley Stein. Count the bucket, and he's got a free throw coming up as well.
A tough start scoring the basketball, but they're starting to turn it around now.
The Mavericks shooting their 5th attempt at the line in the game.
Yeah, a year ago, though, Kevin, 78% conversion rate from the free throw line, so that's a nice all-around effort.
Mind the lane. Mind the lane. One shot.
And that one falls for Cauley Stein.
You wonder what the next step is, and for Willie Cauley-Stein, what he's done in the offseason to improve himself offensively. Maybe a few more things in the footwork category will help him out.
Bullock with it. He's got 5. He gets it in there. Bullock's got 7 points. And now approaching 2 minutes of action here in the second quarter. To the paint. And Cauley Stein throws it down.
Cauley Stein positioned himself early and then found the reward there as he collected the ball and threw it through.
The Knicks leading by 4.
And it was interesting how the Dallas franchise sold its fans on Doncic. Ownership told them, think of a 6'7" Steve Nash. Isn't quite the shooter Steve was, but is only a teenager. Great vision where he can really pass it. And it turns out Doncic is all of that and more.
Pass to Bullock. Now Junior. Burke covering. Here's Cobb. And he can't answer back. The 3-pointer offline. For Dallas, they've gone a sensational 5 of 5 from the field since the start of the second quarter. And even Nash himself called Doncic a dream prospect.
Yeah, it said Luka was big and mobile enough in the modern game, can guard multiple positions, has a skill set, a winning mentality, and those leadership qualities. Steve Nash sounding like a future GM.
New York calls timeout. This game coming after a loss against the Pistons.
Yeah, tough game on the road. The guys you're defending, obviously.
So that'll be it for the first half. Fairly even battle underway in this one. Knicks lead by 5. And now we'll send it over to David Aldridge, who is standing by courtside. David.
Thank you, Kevin. Here with Elfrid Payton. EP, you saw the floor and found the open man in the first half. What's enabled you to create all those opportunities?
Just trying to get into the paint.
All right, Dave, thank you. And time now for the halftime break at the third. And after a fairly even first couple of quarters, the second half could turn out. Look for Dallas. Powell, he's jacked in for Maxi Kleber. Hardaway comes in for Luka Doncic. And Trey Burke subbed in for Jalen Brunson. Dwight Powell is out there with Porzingis. Then it's Josh Richardson. Then there's Trey Burke, and it's Hardaway in at the 3 spot. That's the lineup in the game for Dallas.
I wonder what the score would be if they weren't controlling the backboard.
Richardson kicks to Burke. Wide open look. The rebound by Gibson.
The defense better tighten up on the mid-range. They're much, much tighter. You expect him to make every single one of those.
And the shot falls short this time.
And guys, you've heard of overpassing. Well, that shot was an example of underpassing.
Maybe they can find a way to establish some rhythm in the next few possessions with the extra pass.
And that's an intentional foul.
Really no idea why you're fouling in a situation like that. Maybe there's some bad blood between those two.
Cauley Stein, he's checked in for Dallas. On defense, the Knicks. It's a 3-point game. Richardson gets a wide open look. Dallas again missing.
Shot didn't fall, but that play worked well to get a good look at the basket.
Yeah, an efficient offensive possession. They found the look that they wanted, just didn't go in.
And running with a full head of steam, but completely under control.
Yeah, you think he's comfortable at that speed? He's done it so many times before. Just an absolute blur in transition, and that helps get the rhythm going.
Hardaway passes to Burke. Cauley Stein dishes to Richardson. Hardaway. That one no good. The Knicks go the other way with it. Following this one, they get to host the Cavaliers. That game is the first and last of their homestand. Greg, you'd probably know as well as anyone, what was it like going up against the Bulls in the 90s?
It's weird to say, but in a lot of ways, we were a lot like they were. Hall of Fame talent at the coach, a defensive-minded team, but the one difference was, the Bulls had that guy that wore that number 20. I'd say that might have been the one difference.
A different look for New York. Noel's checked in for Gibson. Alec Burks comes in for Junior. And Derrick Rose is subbed in for Elfrid Payton. And here are the Mavericks now. They're on a 15-6 run. On the wing, Hardaway. The 3. It's good. The assist that time from Burke. Burke's got 4 assists in the game.
And it just seems that every pass they make is leading to a score. Just great ball movement.
Outside Robinson. New York moving it around. Launches it. That's it, and the Dallas lead is cut down to 4 on the bucket from Cobb.
Well, Cobb can do just about everything on the court, so I'm not surprised to see him extend his range.
Outside Hardaway. Off target with his 3.
I'm not sure how he finds himself in so much space there. He's kicking himself for whiffing a bit on that one.
and some hang time on the rim. Puts a little cherry on the top of that slam.
Well, those kind of displays of strength can get one team rolling. And the Mavericks call time here.
Well, the Knicks fans looking for any ray of hope, and it doesn't have to come at the hands of high-level draft choices. Mitchell Robinson is one of those young players right now for them who's showing a ton of promise.
With some changes. Maxi Kleber, he's checked. Some changes here for the Mavericks. Porzingis, he's checked in for Willie Cauley-Stein. And Dwight Powell subbed in for Maxi Kleber. And New York, looking at who they've got. Taj Gibson is out there with Reggie Bullock. And there's Nerlens Noel. Then it's Junior. And it's Ntilikina in at the 1. And that one's good, Junior.
Making every effort to put this game on ice.
You love that the guys are staying aggressive late in this ball game, just not wanting to let go of the rope.
About 3 seconds between shot and game clock. On the wing, Hardaway. He's guarded by Bullock, and the shot goes in.
A little bit of breathing room, and Tim Hardaway Jr. is going to look right to the rim.
Here's Ntilikina. So no problem for New York as they get the win. And in the win, a comfortable win in what was, I think, gee, a pretty hostile environment.
It really was. You know, it's never going to be easy on the road, but they didn't have too many problems with that tonight.
Thank you for joining us. That'll do it for now. For Greg Anthony, Brett Barry, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan. Thanks for watching the NBA, presented by 2K Sports.
I'm doing so well. So we're getting close to launch time, and you've released some details on your blog and social media.
The Knicks ready to enjoy that one-of-a-kind New York home court advantage. Coming into the building earlier tonight. The tallest building in the United States, One World Trade Center. Looking glorious tonight as we come to you from New York. And thanks for joining us on this Christmas Eve. This is Kevin Harlan with Hall of Famer Doris Burke and Greg Anthony, giving us the rundown from the sideline courtside. DA, take it away.
Hey, Kevin, if you'll allow a DC...
Great stuff as always, DA. Thanks. And a tough stretch for both teams, Doris. As a player, do you change your approach when you're in a losing streak like this?
I think, Kevin, one of the things you do is you put your head down and you continue to work. You understand that in the course of a season there are highs and lows, but you do not react to those. You continue to work, you continue to grind.
Look at Cleveland's starting group. Garland and... ends up going with the new group. 32 seconds left to play here in the first. It's Prince on the wing. He's guarded by Bullock. Now Garland. He's coming off a 22-point game against the Wizards in Washington.
And let's not forget about the assist. This guy as a playmaker was a driving force for that offense.
That doesn't go in. Had a chance, though, to take the lead. Bullock with it. Shoots over Garland. Bullock good. And that concludes a back-and-forth, high-scoring first quarter of play. New York ahead. They lead by 2. After this break, we'll be back with the start of the second quarter on 2K. And if you're just tuning in, it's been a pretty even game through the first quarter. And what stands out to you from New York in this one?
They set a physical tone in the first, and that really showed on the backboard.
I think it's why they hold the lead here early, because they're controlling the flow of the game with those second chance opportunities.
And now let's check out the lineups courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go. Here's the second quarter of play. And so in the game for the Cavaliers, they've got Garland. Hartenstein is out there with Nance. And it's Taurean Prince. And it's Windler in at the 2. Last game for the Cavaliers, it was a loss to the Wizards in Washington.
And defensively in that one, they needed to come up with big stops to quiet that crowd, and that's obviously easier said than done.
I'll tell you this, it looked like they wanted to get out of town as quickly as possible. The problem is their defense went with them.
And the jam by Larry Nance.
Darius Garland playing the role of ball distributor to perfection. Pretty pass.
Cobb passes to Junior. And 2 free throws coming up, unable to get that one to go with all the contact. Darius Garland picks one up. The Knicks shooting their first free throws of this. No good on that one. Sexton, he's checked in for Cleveland. And he can't hit the second. The Cavaliers have gone 1 of 3 to start out the second quarter. Second quarter of action, about a minute and a half played. Now here's Prince. Not a lot of room. Off target at the rim. Here's Junior. Plays it up and banks it in. Junior's got the lead up to 4 now for the Knicks.
And of course, we know the history between Cobb and Junior. These two seem to have their fates intertwined. They're always going to be connected.
And Greg, now the 2 rookies are playing for the same side. They've been competitive for so long, so it's nice to see them join forces. New York calls timeout. This their first chance this season playing the Cavaliers.
And they won the season series against this club last year, but, you know, then again, so did a lot of other teams.
For the Knicks, Julius Randle's checked in for Toppin, and Alec Burks subbed in for Reggie Bullock. Then for the Cavaliers, Jared Allen's checked in for Hartenstein, and it's a Okoro in for Prince. And so Sexton will bring it up for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Trailing by 2, Windler's shot is off. Knicks have gone 2 of 5 from the field here in the second quarter, shooting 40%. They get a hand on it, stolen by Okoro. Pulls up, high post. Randle grabs the board. Windler's gone only 1 of 5 shooting from the floor. Now here's Cobb, defended by Sexton. Here's Junior. No good that time. Nance with some nice D. Looking at the Knicks, they took the win in their last game against Dallas.
And Larry Nance Jr., son of former NBA great Larry Nance, like his father, Larry Jr. plays well above the rim.
Greg, this is a young guy who can go over you, through you, and when he's airborne, this is one of the scariest players to challenge at the rim.
So many people know your story, born and raised in Las Vegas. It must have been an amazing feeling then to lead UNLV to its only championship.
I mean, Kevin, you know, playing in front of so many people you know has its pros and cons, but to be a part of that 1990 championship team and the only one we've been able to hoist and to have my jersey hanging in that rafter, it's humbling, and yes, it brings back a lot of fond memories.
Like historically good, right? When you think of that team, what that meant, it has a historic place.
It does. We felt like we were able to etch our mark in terms of the lures of the game of college basketball.
Ties it up, and this next one could give them the lead. And for years now, GA, Kevin Love, one of the better outside shooting big men in the game. He can really light it up.
I tell you, Love.
And that's it for the first half of action in what's been a very close game here. Knicks lead by 4. And a chance now to send it over to David Aldridge, standing by courtside. David.
Kevin, thanks. Derek, what's the most important thing on defense, and how does that impact the offense?
Contesting their shots. They're a great three-point shooting team. We're just contesting and getting out and run. That's our favorite thing to do. Get out, run. We got big second run, shooters on the floor, so open the floor up a little bit.
We'll see if you can keep the pace going in the second half, Derek. Thanks a lot. Back to you, Kevin.
Thanks so much, David, and we'll step away briefly, but get you right back out here for the start of the third quarter after this break. And as we get into this third quarter, as we've seen so far, neither team able to create much separation. And so it's the Knicks with the win. Probably a little closer than they would have liked it, but a win nonetheless.
Yeah, but I really got a sense that the fans gave them that emotional boost that was needed down the stretch. This crowd, man, they were electric.
And that'll do it, folks. For Greg Anthony, Doris Burke, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for watching. So long and good night, everyone.
Alright. We're going to meet someone today as well. Because why not?
So we've obviously got them, faultless. I like keeping it around the 300 mark.
Games.
The mileage, if I can help it. There's not too much for me. Oh, might take that fuel actually up now.
I still hope you guys
seem too far.
Hit that like button, subscribe.
Plus I'm trying to go.
So I hope you guys enjoyed. Hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you won't